for Texas A&M-Commerce. We have with us head coach Clint Dolezel. We have junior offensive lineman Jadin Jones and a junior linebacker Brandon Tucker. Coach, if we could get an opening comment, your thoughts as you prepare for your second season as a head coach here at Commerce here in 2024.
Excited. You know, that's most and foremost for me and the coaches that I brought on some new coaches. Excited to get them out there on the playing field. But we've done a really good job in the offseason in bringing in talent to compete right now. And I think that's the beauty of college football. You can go out and find players and turn your program around, and I think we've done that job with the talent we brought in.
Coach, when you talk about adjustments, obviously you're still in that second year in terms of building the program the way you want. What has been your philosophy as you've gone through this process to try to tinker with the roster, especially in this era of college football, of trying to figure out how to build the program the way you want?
Keep getting better players. Yeah. I mean, you can be a great coach if you don't have the players to go get it done. You're just not going to be successful. So, like I said, I feel like we've done that. We've won out, and definitely on the offensive side, we've got some depth there, and we've got some talent there on that side to be able. Our defense kept us alive last year in every ball game for the most part, and even though we only won one football game last year, we're pretty much in every football game in the conference. So, if we improved like we know we have over an offseason, I think we'll give teams trouble this year.
One thing that is notable, you mentioned coaching changes. There is a coaching change as well involving yourself as you're taking over play calling duties and taking over offensive coordinator situations. For those that don't know, a very prolific Arena League quarterback and coach, certainly a mind for offense to say the least. Coach, the two-part question here. Your thoughts on just in general taking over the play calling duties, and second, is there anything from the Arena game that you see applicable to the way college football or just football in general is played right now?
Yeah, I mean, obviously taking over the offensive job, I mean, I've done that my whole life. Even when I was playing quarterback in Arena Football League, I was my own offensive coordinator as well. So I'm used to doing that. Last year, there's no way with all the school side of learning that and the adjustment to that, I couldn't do it last year. So having that underneath my belt now, I feel comfortable with that. The Arena game it's a quick game, and I think that's what's evolved, over the years since my playing days at East Texas State when it changed in '95 to Texas A&M-Commerce. It wasn't this style of game that we're playing now. It's a true run quarterback, a dual threat guy, which not me. I was in the pocket. You were going to find me right there, and that was part of the game. But keeping the quarterback upright, that's the biggest thing for me. We will get the ball out of his hands. Our bunch and stack stuff, that was basically came from Arena Football. Anything you see from bunch and stack, it was originated in Arena Football. So they run some of that stuff a lot in college football and NFL. They just don't run it right. So we're gonna show them how to actually run it, and hopefully be a little more in the red zone, because that's where it's prevalent down there, is those type routes, and get down there and have some success down there.
Coach, you talked about keeping the quarterback upright. Jadin, you dealt with some injury situation last year. Obviously, the offensive line much better when you're on it. Can you just address your health right now and just how you're feeling going into this season?
I feel great. Like, if we start the season right now, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get rolling. I already show people what they've been missing. They don't know what's coming their way. That's all I have to say.
How frustrating is not being out there when you know that there's things that you could do to contribute?
Very frustrating. I'm one of the team captains, so I hold myself accountable more than anybody else. And it kills me just not being out there to play with my teammates, to execute with them, to have fun, play the game. The best I can do is sit on the sideline, coach them, where I should be out there playing. That's very frustrating.
And Coach, to that end, how frustrating is it a coach not being at 100%, knowing the quarterback position the way you do, not being at full strength on the offensive line?
Yeah, we took, two big hits right off the bat last year, losing McKenzie after week 1, and then we lost Jadin in week 3 to 4, somewhere in there. Those are our bookends, and losing those, we weren't very deep there. We are deep there. Not only with, Jadin's a captain, but he's also basically a coach for us too. I mean, he's a great leader for us on and off the field, and that's why he's here sitting in this chair right next to me as an offensive, leader.
Brandon, let's switch gears to the defense here. Just overall expectations and your thoughts going into this season.
Yes, sir. So, first off, the Lion community, we want to let everybody know that this upcoming season is dedicated to our brother. We just recently lost Keith Miller. But as far as the expectation goes, the defense is going to do what the defense always has done. The biggest thing is making tackles, finishing at the ball, point of contact. We got great people on defense. Max Epps, who's an All-American, Kendall Paul, Jaden Rios, Levon Williams, you can go on and on, D-line. Of course, with Levi Drake Rodriguez, so it's been a good process, and, having those guys, leading us and getting us to this point now has been big.
And Coach, you made a change on a defensive coordinator. Jack Tyler was already under staff, elevated to DC. Just your thoughts on that promotion and just what he's going to bring to the table now in that role.
Yeah, well deserved. He did a lot of the play calling for us last year. I was on the headset both sides, when we were on offense, defense, and listened to the communication between all three of those coaches. And he had a big voice in that. And we'll be very multiple defense this year. We're going to run a lot of odd. We're going to run a lot of even. So we'll be, you just can't just prepare for one thing for us. So we're going to be very prepared on that side of football because we're going to do multiple things. Brandon,
can you talk about what Coach Tyler brings to the table, what you've learned from him last year, and what you've seen from him now that he's been elevated to DC?
A multitude of things. Most importantly, the way he's able to coach and, to break things down to us definitely slows the game down for us. All-around great coach, and he's more than a coach. He's somebody we can definitely, bond with on and off the field, almost like a second dad. And so just having that family bond, it definitely helps us and play harder for him. And, I'm very excited for the upcoming season. Yeah, Coach Tyler being in that linebacker position at Virginia Tech, so that's why he's going to excel this year. Brandon, you guys didn't get the chance to see Brandon. I'm anxious for our conference to get a chance to see him. He can play. He's a tough block for us on the offensive side. I know that.
Coach, you talked about getting good players, right, as the goal. That's any coach's goal, especially in this day and age. 32 transfers, 7 from FBS schools. Can you just talk about the roster tinkering? I know we talked a little bit about your philosophy already, but just in terms of the acquisitions that you brought in and where you think that they'll all fit in this roster.
Well, it's going to be competitive, and that's all you can ask for. I think one of the biggest, slaps in my face is we led the conference in penalties. So that's on me. But a big part of that's injuries as well. So you're having a lot of new faces out there, and when you're having to play, I think 23 of our freshmen played in 4 games last year. So that's a struggle. Anytime you're counting on 18-year-olds to get out there and compete for you and help us win football games, that's going to be tough. So, we have depth now. So if we do have some injuries, we're prepared for the next guy up, and I'm excited about that fact.
If we have any questions from
the voice.
Hey, guys. Coach, first for you, it's kind of a reset button coming into year 2 for you with all the injuries that you had. Things didn't go the way you had hoped and any of the staff. But how's the response been in the camps? Everybody's better when they're healthy.
No doubt. Well, it's a rebuilding process. That we're going into our 3rd year being D1. It's a slow, steady, move up, and we've made adjustments not only on the coaching staff but the players as well. So, I got a great coaching staff. I got to start with there because they've taken a lot off my plate. I talked about that off the field, in the school part, which is tough. I've got a great coaching staff. The Welches helped me out a ton with that. Coach Tyler being, brought up to the defensive coordinator. I think that's going to make a great improvement for us. And plus, bringing Andy Townsend, giving a bump to Chase Permore as our receivers. He's going to be our receivers coach and our pass coordinator. So, just good guys around me. That makes it a lot easier on me. Make play calling a lot easier on me. Plus, again, if you got the Joes out there, you can just call pretty much. You put your finger on one. If they can go get it done, you can go get it done.
Brandon, over on the defensive side, you guys really kept the Lions in so many of those games last year, and then it got wearing down at the end. What's the attitude in the huddle on the defensive side now? Y'all got to play against some of the guys in the spring game a little bit.
Right. Defensively, the offense is definitely elevated, and so it's definitely an iron sharpens iron type of practice, and all throughout the summer and spring. the biggest thing is, we attack every day with the mindset of, being grace to minimum. And, continues to build on top of that and stack days is the biggest thing.
Jadin, over on the offensive line, and I know what it's like to miss games the way you had to last year, but now that most of the guys are healthier and you've got some bigger guys and some more depth, what's it like in the linemen's meetings?
Oh, man, it's exciting. Just knowing that I'm building new bonds with my new teammates, having a great connection, and just know that we all have the mindset of finishing our blocks, receivers, finishing through the guys in front of them, running backs finishing the guys in front of them, QBs, trusting the guys in front of them, trusting the guys he's throwing the ball to, trusting everybody on the field. That's a big mindset, is trust and building a bond. But we're ready to go. We're ready to get rock and rolling right now if we have to.
All right, jump on it. Whoever wants it. San Diego State's who we're opening with.
Yes, sir. Yes,
sir.
Yeah.
That'll be big.
If Old Dominion thinks like, they think like Old Dominion, then they'll be, their hands will be full. I promise you that. So we won't just go lay down. I'm still trying to figure out this game. That's baffling to me how Old Dominion can go and get in a bowl game, and we win one game and, basically went for two to try to win the game. So this game's a little bit different. It's not like the pro game where you got the better players, you're going to go win 99% of the time. There's a lot that goes into this, and we'll be more prepared this year for it.
Jadin, your mom's in the airline business, right?
Yes, sir.
Is she going to be able to bump you up to first class or get you out there to California?
I can't say. I'm just saying. I'm flying with my teammates.
We're all first class, baby. We're all
Definitely.
Yes, you are. Go Lions.
Anyone else? Coach, a couple more things I'll ask you. Just a general assessment of your offense, where it's at, is you have competitions, I'm sure, at a bunch of different positions. You have 11 starters back total on the team. Just in general, give me an assessment of where you feel you're at offensively.
We still got a little ways to go. I mean, that camp's going to be well needed. Erod is a quarterback that played for us 2 years ago, won 5 football games in D1. And he didn't play at all for us last year with multiple injuries with his ankles and wrists and things like that. Right now, I think he's our leader in that group, but we have 2 or 3 other guys we brought in as well to push him to compete. So I'm excited about where that is going to play out during the fall. And I'm excited about our depth again. On the offensive side, we probably have I would say 10 receivers that I have no problem putting out there on the field right now. Last year we had 1 or 2. So offensive line, we're 6 to 7 deep at least. And our tight ends, you don't talk about tight ends very often, but there's going to be a pretty exciting tight end blocking and down the field catching. So we're not where we need to be, but we shouldn't be yet. We're still an off-season program. Coach Mack's still wearing them out today, and they love him for it. We talk about sometimes, I mentioned this in a few interviews, is the kids don't work as hard as they used to because they're not allowed to, but we work them as much as we can on that borderline of pushing them to the brink, and they respond. They practice hard, they work out hard, they do everything hard, and they got a great bond going on.
One of the themes a lot of the coaches have been talking about coming in here is just the atmosphere here, the opening drive here in San Antonio for this Media Day event. You've been a part of Media Day events before, Coach. Just overall thoughts on that, and then also the state of the league. You're part of you're one of the reasons this league has been in transition, moving up to D1 and joining the Southland Conference. Stephen F. Austin coming back, UTRGV coming into the fold next year with their first year of college football. Overall thoughts on Media Day and just overall thoughts on the health of the league right now.
It's great. I think all of it's trending. I think Chris has done a great job, our commissioner, on getting us here. This is exactly where we need to be. Now, we don't like all our Louisiana schools trying to get our Texas guys, but this is a great situation. We get to meet and greet. It's great for the guys to get to meet players off the field instead of just on the field, too. So we're trending in the right direction. We want to be the Big Sky. We don't just one team to go into the playoffs from the Southland. We want multiple teams because we've gone out, we've shown it. We're going to, like we're playing UC Davis, we're playing Sac State. Those teams are always good. So if we can start winning some of those football games and putting, the Southland on the map, we'll start taking 2 or 3 teams from our conference.
And we'll ask the student athletes here. Brandon, we'll start with you. Just in terms of being a part of an event like this and just getting to interact with some of the other student athletes in kind of a setting where you're not trying to hit each other.
Yeah, that's real neat. You know, there's a little bit of trash talking going on, especially during playing the game together. But you know, it's a new opportunity, and you know, I think it was good for us just to get to know each other on a you know, personal level. You know, it's rare because usually it's like you said in the game, we're butting heads, and you know, this during the fall, I know we're gonna get after it for sure.
Okay, Jadin.
Same thing. Just seeing how the guys are, just building some bonds off the field. Because you know, on the field we're going to be butt heads. We're not friends on the field. We're enemies, respectfully. But at the end of the day, it's a very exciting moment.
I don't think I've ever heard say anyone we're enemies. Respectfully. Last thing I'll ask you guys, a big video game just came out a few days ago. I don't know if you guys have been able to download that at any time to play the college football game. Have you guys had a chance to play it at all? And have you guys had a chance to play as the Lions?
I just got it like before I came up here. So I only played like one game really. So I haven't really got a chance to play it yet. But when I get back, I definitely gonna play the Lions.
Okay.
You know, my first time playing it was down here, and so, you know, I like to get things late that way, get everybody a chance to get in front of me. So by the time I get on the game, you know, they know it's coming for them for sure.
Okay.
My answer would be a big fat no. If it's one stick and one button like Atari, I'm not playing it. So,
Coach, the last thing I'll ask you: any great Texas Terror or Houston Thunder Bears memories?
what memories?
Yeah.
Well, just the name alone, Thunder Bears.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a rough name. To have to go play.
Texas Terror was the one that should have stayed.
Yeah, you're right. It should have. Well, actually, so my wife pulled something out, and so I don't know. Everybody knows the Lion King, the guy with the mullet, the blonde hair. Well, I lost a bet in playing with the Texas Terror, and I had to dye my hair blonde, and it looked awful. So she pulled that back up. That's one of the memories, which is not a good memory, but you know, that arena football game's a blast. I loved it and played it and coached it for so many years, and it's just a fast-paced game. So.
And just sidebar, were you happy to see it back in some sense? And they just had their Arena Bowl the other day.
Yes, you know, it needs to be around. At one point, you know, the league messed up back in basically 2001, the Arena Football League. The NFL tried to buy 51% of it, and we thought we were outgrowing it, and we didn't do it. So that's shown. It's been back and forth 2 or 3 times since then. So we look back at that, and that's a mistake. It's a game I love. I got 30 years invested in it. So, yeah, I love to see it, you know, keep growing.
Well, as a former AF2 announcer, I'm happy to meet an AFL legend here. Appreciate gentlemen, again, Head Coach Clint Dolezel, Jadin Jones, Brandon Tucker from Texas A&M-Commerce. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.